Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, August 27th, 2020. We're again in the final hour of the trading day. Final hour is my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades by following the smart money of the large financial institutions. During the day, you have during the day you have the algorithms and the day traders. They are the ones that are in control of the price. At the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions come in. They're coming in, they're dealing with the most money, incredible amounts of money. They have very smart people, best technology, best information, and they start to make their moves at the end of the day. And so I feel like they are smart money. I feel like I want to piggyback my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades based upon what they are doing. And a good example of that yesterday was Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs didn't do anything during the whole day, and then in the last minute there was a huge surge up, and to move Goldman Sachs that much, there has to be a lot of money involved. And I think Kamal had mentioned that 30% or over 30% of the volume of the entire day came in the last minute of the day, or in the last 5 minutes of the day. So it's that last hour, particularly the last few minutes of the day, where they start making their moves. I think they're smart money, like I mentioned, and I like to make my buying and selling decisions based upon what they are doing. So thank you all for coming today. I always look forward to seeing everyone. I think we have such a great group of people, and I feel very fortunate and grateful that you found the channel and that you keep coming back, and I just consider you all friends. So thank you. Thank you. So let's take a look here. John is here. Hey, John, good to see you, my friend. Happy Thursday. I've been stalking WDC. What do you think? Do you think today is the day? Well, I don't know. Let's take a look and see if it's the day. WDC. Yeah, I kind of like it, actually. I kind of like it. As a matter of fact, John, I'm going to put that on the watch list. That's one of the best ones I've seen today. What do we have going here? We have a higher low V1. Here's the V1, higher than here. Bullish engulfing bar. Yesterday it went under 30, over 30. I just noticed that, and we've gone under the negative third, over the negative third. MACD is close to crossing. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Weekly, we have a double. Well, no, we don't. Sorry, I had to take a longer view on it. It's okay on the weekly. I don't see anything I love on the weekly, but this is pretty good, and especially if we can close over this 10-day. You see how long it's been since we've closed over this 10-day, John? So just the fact that something has changed, that we can close over a moving average, that's positive. So thank you for pointing that out. That looks pretty good. So I'll watch that. I'll be watching that at the end of the day for sure. Thank you, John. Hey, Dan, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Bob is here. Hello, Bob. Good to see you. Johan is a current student of mine, and I'll tell you what, this guy is a sharp, smart guy. Wow. We had a lesson last night, and man, he picked things up and asked questions like I'd been teaching him for a year. So I don't know if you're flying today. Maybe you're listening to the podcast while you're flying. I know you're flying to Australia, but Johan, that was really great, and look forward to our next lesson next Monday, and hope you have a good flight and trip to Australia. William Green. Hello, William. Good to see you, my friend. Hello, Greg. Hello to the team. Hello. Thanks for coming, William. Kevin Frost is here. Hey, Kevin. Nice to have you back. Kevin says, hey, everyone. Good luck with everyone's trades today. Well, that's very kind of you, Kevin. Thank you very much. And Kamal is here. Hey, Kamal. Good to see you. Kamal and I chat during the day on Skype, and I feel very fortunate enough to have Kamal to work with during the day, and also very grateful that he coded up that wonderful scanner, man, and that he's kind enough to provide us with the results each day. Keep in mind, just because something comes off a scanner doesn't mean it's going to do anything, right? Just a little disclaimer, we never know. But, you know, he wrote that software so that it would look for confluences and combination of indicators, and it kicks it out every day. So I'm very grateful for that. So thank you, Kamal. Yas is here. Hey, Yas, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Okay, so here is the plan for today. As always, first of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, most importantly, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have a couple day trades today. I will share those with you. Then we're going to take a look at your trades that are up here on the board. We're going to go through each one and see how those are doing. After that, we are going to talk a little bit about trader psychology, good trading words of wisdom, or just maybe some information or tips to help improve your trading. After that, as I just mentioned, Kamal was kind enough to send me the results of the scanner. I will be going through, I have gone through those, and I've put some potentials up on the board. I'll go through each potential. We'll analyze it. Remember, I have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a trade. Confluence or combination of indicators, ideally on multiple time frames. And the way that I look at trading is you're going to have a better chance to have a profitable trade if you're if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible, right? So if you take the other side, if you take the extreme of the other side, if you're the only buyer and everyone's selling, you're not going to have a very good chance of it going up. So flip it around and that increases your chance. And how do I do that? Well, I look for confluences or combinations of indicators like RSI, MACD, moving averages, ATR channels. Each one of those I look at as a potential group of buyers. And if several groups of buyers come together or indicators line up, confluence or combination of indicators / buyers line up, you have more buyers and it gives you a better chance to have a profitable trade. So that's very important. Excuse me. But what's also very important is that even if you have a good confluence of indicators, you have to analyze the risk to reward. You have to analyze it based upon, large moving averages above you, ATR channels above you, RSI levels above you. You just have to make sure you have the potential of making at least 2 times to the upside based upon resistance above you, but likely resistance above you compared to your valid support below you. So very important. The scanner kicks out a lot of confluences of signals, but you have to look at it with the human perspective and do the math in your head and look and say, well, yeah, this is a really good signal, but it's a little overextended right now. It's a little chasey, as I like to say, and Kamal likes to say, and Steve Burns like to say, right? It's a little chasey and maybe doesn't give you a good risk to reward, like yesterday. Not Beyond Meat, Roku had a valid signal, but it was a little chasey. It was a valid signal, but it was so extended that the risk to reward wasn't that great. And then number 3, please keep in mind how much correlation you have in your portfolio. Are you way heavy in tech? Are you way heavy in healthcare? Right? That's great if they go up because they're most likely going to go up together. But if they go down, you're going to have a bad day, right? It hasn't happened with the NASDAQ very often, but you could have a really bad day. So it's more of a conservative approach to vary the different types of companies and industries that you own. So you have diversification. And then also getting outside of equities like gold, bonds, silver, dollar, things like that, just to get as diversified as you can. So I'm going to go down through that watch list. We'll do a first pass, take a look. We'll put the potential candidates over on one side and the ones we don't like on the other side. And then I'll go through those potential candidates with the fine-tooth comb, looking at multiple time frames, looking at the confluence of indicators, looking for risk or reward. And if I find something good, I'll go ahead and enter it at the end of the day. And if I don't, then I won't. Then when the market closes, if anybody has any questions, if you want me to look at any stock symbols, please feel free, put them in the chat. I'll do my very best to get to them. If you'd like me to take a look at them before the market closes, put an asterisk or emoji by it so that I know it's time sensitive, and I'll do my best, okay? And then lastly, after the market closes, if you could be so kind to wait till after the market closes to tell me about any new entries or exits. Then the market's closed, I'm done trading, I'm done teaching, pressure's off, and then we'll spend as much time as we need to get your new entries or take off your old entries. Okay, so that's the plan. So if you could be so kind, hold on for about 40 seconds. I'm going to run that legal disclaimer and I will be back. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks for that. Hey Frank, good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have Frank here. Thank you so much. Hey Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Always an honor and privilege to have the great Steve Burns here. I mean, if you haven't read Steve Burns' trading books, please do so. He has many, and they're life-changing. And it's always an honor, to have Steve here live with us in the chat. So I always appreciate that, Steve, and I'm sure everyone else does as well. Steve says, a little volatility spike today with the Fed talking. VIX is finding resistance around the 200-day moving average. Yeah, the VIX. I bought some VIX yesterday, not for myself, but for someone else in an account that I manage. And boy, was that pretty good. I mean, it's up 4.86% today, but you can see earlier it was up 10%. But, big bar up. We are holding the halfway of that bar, right? MACD's positive. We've had a big long base. Very likely this could keep going. I don't know, obviously, but just, we've based, and finally we have had a move up. I don't know what the volume looks like today. Yeah, a lot of volume. Oh, here we're only up on the VXX. We're only up 2%. So this is giving back up on the VIX. On the index, it's held the halfway, but on the VXX, it has lost halfway. So, okay. Frank has a poem. If trading were a game of chess, one side would stress and the other duress. To earn in trading is to discern and constantly learn. It's a kind of mental groove, by the way. It's your move. Ooh, I like how you ended with that. That's great. If trading were a game of chess, one side would be stress and the other duress. To earn in trading is to discern and constantly learn. It's kind of a mental groove, by the way. It's your move. Wow, I like that last line, man. That's really great. Thank you so much, Frank. Yeah, you have to adapt. You have to learn. When I had my lesson last night with Johan, we were talking about getting good at trading, and the way to get good at trading, everybody, is to stay in the game and get experience. And if you position size too large, stay on the wrong side of the moving averages or your indicators, very likely you are going to have a huge hit to your account, or you may blow up your account. And how can you ever become a good trader without experience, right? How can you become a good guitar player if you never practice? How can you become a good airline pilot if you never fly and get hours, right? You have to practice, and it's the same with trading. And so the only way you're going to get good at trading is get years of experience, and the only way to get years of experience is to position size correctly and to not lose all your money, right? Steve says, I am looking at buying Beyond Meat 520 crossover if it stays around this price area. Yeah, we had the 520 cross right here. Actually, luckily so I won't be buying this today because I already own it. But yes, we had the 520 crossover, which is valid back test on Beyond Meat. It's at a 56.53 RSI. That's pretty good. Has rejected the 50-day, at least so far. I don't know if it's going to or not. But anyway, we will get to this. Well, it's the first one on the list. So, okay. So Kamal bought it back here. No. I bought it back here, and Kamal bought it back here, and Gary bought it back here at 125.10 with this false breakout to the downside and V1. So we bought it at 125.10. Moved up strongly the next day, but rejected the 50 RSI. That was a danger flag for me, so I sold half of my position, but it was at a profitable level. Then it moved down, moved down, moved down. My stop was a close halfway of this washout bar. It tested it, tested it, tested it. I kept it. And today, this is almost a record, everybody. This is almost a record. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 profit targets. It's up 6%, but as you can see, I did hit a couple, one here and one up here. So massive volume, massive big move. Now the way I trade, if it rejects the 50 RSI or if it rejects the 50-day moving average, I'm going to get out. So if it closes under this 50-day moving average, I'm going to sell another half. I'll sell half of what I have left. And Johan, if you're listening, right, it rejected the 50 RSI, so I got out of half. Today, it went up, rejected the 50-day moving average. I'm going to get out of half, in addition to the profit targets that I hit, but up 6.02% today. And this is a fantastic trade. So, and Gary got out of half as well, but we're still happy, Gary, right? So Kamal and Gary and I, really nice trade here. Cisco, Karen, Gary, and Yas, we bought Cisco yesterday at 42.22, false breakout to the downside. V1, nice basing, stab down, reverse, bought this at 42.22. It's at 42.33, up 0.14%, up, not up a lot, but up nonetheless. Oh, I forgot to go over. So currently the Dow Jones is up 278 points. It's up 0.99%. The NASDAQ is only up 4 points, up 0.04. So slightly green, but it was much lower in the day. And the S&P is up 17.54, up 0.5%. So, okay, so that's Cisco. Dexcom, Gary and Brian and I did buy Dexcom back on the 25th at 430.20. V1 bullish engulfing bar, under 50, over 50. Yesterday it went above 50 and closed below, so I did sell half. That's a bit of a warning sign. After I sell half, if I get a close below the previous day's low, I would get out. We wash this out again. If I was not in this trade already, I would probably take this trade right here. It's a higher low V1. And so anyway, up 0.82%, slightly underwater on the trade by about 4 cents, but well, more because I sold half here. But anyway, for today, but nice comeback. It was, it's tested the 50-day moving average. My stop on this here now will be closed below halfway of this washout bar. Hasn't moved more than 1.5 ATRs from my entry, so there's no trailing stops. 5. Well, Kamal and Gary and I bought 5 back here at 109.31. Higher low V2. Moved up nicely. Hit some profit targets sideways. Yesterday moved up. Hit some profit targets. Today it has gone above my 1.5 ATR entry point. So I will be trailing this. However, I don't like this at all. It's a V1. It's a false breakout to the downside from over here. It's a bullish engulfing bar. It's still holding the 50 RSI, which is something. But you know, whenever you have a big volatility bar that maybe you don't like, it's fine to get out of the trade, even if you have your plan for the trade. But this doesn't look good at all. So, and it's profitable. So I very likely will be taking 5 below off today and just locking in profits. Gold. Dan, Gary, and I bought gold yesterday at 183.10. False breakout to the downside. V1 bullish engulfing. Was kind of front running that 520 crossover, but it didn't happen. It started out great. You can see I did hit one profit target here. So I did lock in at least a portion at profitable levels. Am I going to hold it today? Couple things. False breakout to the upside from here, V1 to the downside. We've lost the 50 RSI. We are still holding the initial stop. I'll have to make a decision. At the very least, I will be getting out of half because it went above the 50 and below the 50. I'll just have to see how it closes, but at the very least, I will be getting out of half. Play. This has been a great trade. Dave and Buster's, PLAY, Bob and I bought it at 1446. Moved up, and initially we had a 520 cross under and crossover. Bought it at 1446. Went up, came back down. It held the 520 crossover up 7.87% today. So big day up today. MACD went positive, hit 3 profit targets. So big day today between Beyond Meat and Play. SPY. Okay, I'm sure everyone's waiting for this. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it first thing the next morning. Why would I do such a thing? I do this based upon the results from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Since 1993, they tested 2 approaches. Approach number 1, buy the SPY at the open, hold it during the day, sell it each day at the close. This approach every day since 1993 would have returned you a negative 13.9% return. The opposite, however, this is the one I use, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, sell it the first thing the next morning, positive 634.2% return. So doesn't mean it's going to work in the future. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. But if I'm going to allocate money towards a trade, it's going to be something towards something that has good back-tested results. Blue line, buy at the close, sell the next morning. Orange line, buy the open, sell the close. You can see there's a huge difference over time. The blue line, all it has done is gone up and up and up. Big drawdowns, multi-year drawdowns. So, if you're going to use this approach, keep that in mind. Position size conservatively, very small amount, because you can run into large drawdowns using this approach. I did buy it yesterday at 347.57 and sold it this morning at 348.50. So 93 cents for holding it overnight. So this has been good. I mean, it's been a lot of days in a row. That was profitable. That was profitable. That was profitable. That was profitable. Doesn't mean it's always going to be. I mean, my gosh, we're at a 78 RSI on the SPY. Unbelievable. But I will keep buying this, and I will buy this at the close. Okay, Goldman Sachs, Quad Racer, Steve, Kamal, and myself. Kamal and I bought Goldman Sachs intraday here at about 203.79 when we closed above the 200-day moving average. I believe Quad Racer came in, bought it at the close at 206. Steve bought it at 206.71 also, because we had a 520, was it the 520? No, 1030 EMA crossover, I believe. Bought it here at 206.71. Gapped up nicely. Next day, reversed, up a little yesterday, up nicely today, up 1.91% today. You can see here I hit 1, 2, 3 profit targets. Just got that last one by about a penny. So anyway, this has been a really, really great trade, almost $7 in the money on this trade. And the reason I bought this, was the close under the 200, over the 200. It's a good back-tested approach. Steve bought it because of the 1030 EMA crossover. That is a good back-tested approach as well. So there's a confluence of signals that happen. Crossover. So one group of buyers came in, and exactly what happened here. One group of buyers was Steve that came in with the 1030 crossover, and Quad and Kamal and I came in with the close under the 200 and over 200. So anyway, really nice day there. All right, lastly, I did have a couple good day trades today on the Qs. I'll show you. All right, here we go. Here is a nice return to value, sideways motion, and a V1 washout of these previous lows. I bought it here at 292.97. It moved up immediately. It got above more than 1.5 ATRs for my entry. Once it does that, I start to trail with the close below the previous day's low. This is the bar where I got out. It did barely close below the previous day's low, so I took half of my position here and locked it in. After I move more than 1.5 ATRs for my entry, now I'm waiting it to see if it goes up to the 70 RSI. If it keeps going down on this kind of approach, once I get above 1.5 ATR, I will get out if it gets back to my break-even point. Once you move 1.5 ATRs, it shouldn't come back because it's coming back more than one standard deviation. But in this case, it did. So I sold I bought here at 292.97. I sold half at 293.59 for a nice profit. But then when it came back from after being 1.5 ATRs from my entry and it got back to my break even, I just sold the rest. So all in all, still a profitable trade, right? And that's because I trailed the stop up here. And then lastly, I did buy, this is a really, really good example of a higher low V2. We're below the -1 ATR channel, below the value zone, green lines. We come into the value zone, we come back down, and then we trigger a V2. I bought it here. I didn't wait till the end of the bar on this one. I bought it right intra-bar as it triggered the V2. I bought it here at 290.59, and I mean, I knew this was going to be a good trade because it immediately just went rocketing up. So a lot of people saw the same thing. So I bought it here at 290.59. Here we rejected the 50-day moving average. So I got out of half, right? Got out of half. Then it went above and then below. Now to get out of the rest of the trade, looking for a close below the previous day's low. It didn't happen here. Kept moving up, kept moving up, kept moving up, and it happened here. So I got in at 290.59. I got out of half at 291.66 and another half at 291.76. So 3 really nice trades there. Two really nice trades there. Okay. Let me switch over here real quick. Steve says, news-driven spike. Beyond Meat launches website to sell plant-based meat directly to people online. Oh, interesting. Steve says, I will be locking in Google profit if it's closed under the 70 RSI. Yep, I figured you would. And let's take a look, see where that's at right now for Steve. It's a 69.96. So, Steve, if it goes over the 70 and under the 70, that's a rejection of a critical level. And so now it's over 70. So you're going to have to watch that one close, Steve. Glenn says, hey, Greg, cut my position on bonds today and sitting in cash. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Good. Steve says, Tesla now only $750 away from the 3,000 strike. LOL. I heard the 4,000 strikes were even in play now. Crazy. Yeah, remember I was talking about that the other day? The credit spreads and the chances of it going to 3,000 on the Delta were like 25%. Nick says, WBA 39 calls for September 14th. They just had bullish crossover in short-term chart. Could bounce 41.42 in short-term. Decent risk to reward there. Thanks for coming, Nick, and thanks for sharing that with us. Appreciate you being here. Quad, hey, buddy. What's going on? Good afternoon, Greg and group. Hello, Quad. Frank says, Tesla is always taunting me. It's a religion. I know, Frank, for sure. Tesla is a cult, says Steve. Steve says, a lot of trading just comes down to how good you are at managing to capture the profits in the trend. So true. Speaking of profits, let's take a look over here. Karen bought Roku back here at 149.80. Moved sideways here, had a huge, beautiful day up yesterday. It's down a little bit today. Brian also bought it yesterday at 153.95. So Brian and Karen still beautifully in the trade. See the big bar we have up here? See how we came right about down to the halfway point? Kamal and I were talking about this earlier. I said, I think 150 or 170, 157.50 or something would have been the possible place to look. It got within 36 cents of it before it bounced. So very nice, Karen and Brian, Johnson and Johnson, Frank and Bob. Boy, they've been in this trade a long time. Up here at 147.39. This has been beautiful. Up nicely today and nicely on the trade. Steve Burns, we just talked about this. David bought Google back here at 1504 on a different signal. Steve bought the crossover. Oh, this one was the 1030 crossover at 1578. Right now at 1635. Is down a little bit today, but both Steve and Dave are nicely up on the trade. Currently, RSI is 69.95. So Steve at least is going to be looking for a close under the 70 RSI to exit and take profits. Procter and Gamble. Brian bought Procter and Gamble back here at 128.30. It's at 138.58. Nicely up on the trade, up on the day as well. NIO Frank bought a monster NIO at 1550. It is now 1995. It's down 2.4% today, but it's been a huge mover, so you can expect some moves. But very, very beautiful, nice trade, Frank. PayPal. Brian bought PayPal. Boy, Brian bought it so long ago, I got to scroll back. Brian bought it back here at 174.01. It is now 205.25. Wow, up today and beautifully up on the trade. IAU, Frank bought IAU yesterday. This is gold at 1865. It is now 1843. So down on the day and a little bit down on the trade as well. Intel, Quad Racer and Bob bought Intel 49.22, higher low V2, under 30 over 30, back in the over 30 ATR channel. It's pretty much moved sideways here, but it is up 9 cents today, and they are up on the trade. So very nice. Apple, Frank bought Apple back here at 450. It is now 502.55, so 52 points or 52.5 points profit on this trade. Beautiful, Frank, really nice. Apple is down a bit today, but well off of its lows. It was down $10 at one point. It's holding the 70 RSI. It bounced at that third ATR channel underneath it. FAS, Frank's had another nice trade here on FAS. Bought it back here with the 520 crossover, 33.79. Rode it all the way up to here. Sold 90% there, locked in a nice profit, and let that other 10% run. And look at this, huge day today, up 5.35%. So very nice, Frank. NTNX, Karen bought NTNX at 21.49. It is now 21.72. So up on the day and up on the trade. Carr, Frank, and Jayhawk MBA bought this at 29.54. It is now 30.45, down on the day, but still up on the trade. Roku, we already talked about. Costco, Glenn bought Costco with the breakout at 3.30. It's 3.46.95, up on the trade, up on the day. AMD, Brian bought AMD at 82.72. It is 84.08, down on the day, but still up on the trade. Fastly, David and Glenn bought Fastly. I can't remember. I think Glenn bought it back here at 79.79, and I think David bought it at 83.87. It is up 6.27% today. So very nice, David and Glenn. Sherwin-Williams, Brian bought Sherwin-Williams at 648.69. It's now 675.87. So very nice trade there, Brian. DBX, Kamal bought DBX at 1990. It's down today 1.17%, but it is still up on the trade, 1992, and it's now 2033. Disney, Brian had a nice trade on Disney at 130.12. It is now 134.52, up 1.77. So really nice trade there. Stitch Fix, Gary bought Stitch Fix back here at 22.56. Had a huge run up, a little move down, tempted rally back again, but still up, down today, but still up nicely on the trade. VRM, Glenn bought VRM at 61.05. It is 66.70. So very nice there, Glenn. STZ, Constellation brand, Evan bought at 178.12. It is at 182.45, up 0.6% today. Very nice. All right, we're almost there. Kamal bought DDD yesterday at 5.47. It's now 5.34. So down a little bit today and down on the trade. Still holding the 30 RSI. SE, Brian bought SE yesterday at 156.60. It's 154.44, so that one is a bit down on the day and slightly underwater on the trade. FCFS, Bob bought FCFS at 58.10. It is now 60.78. A little bit down today, but nice on the trade. And last but not least, Brian bought Square at 140.33. It is now 157.42, up 2.39% today. So some really nice moves there, everybody. Some really, really, really nice trades. Okay, what time is it? 1:36. All right. So listen, before we head over to my possible end of day candidates, I want to switch gears, talk a little bit about trading psychology, good trading words of wisdom, maybe some tips or some good thoughts on improving your trading. And there's some really good Facebook and Twitter channels out there that post good information for us. It's free. Subscribe to their channels, read it, internalize it. But this is from Julian Komar over on Twitter. Great channel, everybody. Really great trader. I read everything he puts out. So do yourself a favor, subscribe to his channel, Julian Komar at blog Julian Komar. He has some of the best sayings, I'll tell you. But trading tip. Technicals and fundamentals have two goals. Technicals, find the best entry, exit, and measure strength. Fundamentals, select stocks with a high potential of a lasting trend. Combine both, and you're able to find big winning stocks. I always have students, people ask me, do you trade fundamentally or do you trade technically? And I always tell them the best way is both. Find a company that has good fundamentals, possibly one of the ones that qualify on IBD, like the IBD 50, where they have fundamental requirements that kick out on their scanner, like, certain percentage of sales above last quarter, they have new type of products, their relative strength is good, all the requirements from the Can Slim method from IBD, those are really good candidates. Now, do you just buy them? I don't, but they're a good group of potential stocks to look at. So when you do get a technical signal, that's your entry. So really the best combination is fundamentals and technicals. Fundamentals because they're good, strong fundamentals, but just because a company has good, strong fundamentals, I'm still not going to buy it unless I get a technical signal. So, have a list of good stocks that fulfill good fundamental requirements. The IBD 50 is probably the most famous, and I would highly recommend that. Use that as your stable of stocks, and then look for technical signals to enter. So thank you, Julian Komar. I really appreciate that, and it's so true. Technicals, find the best entry and exit and measure strength. Fundamentals, select stocks with high potential of lasting trend. Combine both, and you are able to find big winning stocks. Okay, everybody forgive me. Give me about 30 seconds. I've got to move Katie around, so hang in there for about 30 seconds. Okay, thanks for that. I saw Katie sniffing around for a little food, and man, nothing gets me more excited right now than when Katie's sniffing around for food. So I wanted to make sure it was right there with her. Oh, Steve is long Beyond Meat at 133.19. Okay, well, let me just put that on there. 133.19 is Steve. Crossover. If I could spell crossover, that'd be good. Uh-oh. Okay. Good luck on that, Steve. Okay, so since we're here, let me just, before I look at any new positions, let me take a look. All right, so Beyond Meat, speaking of Beyond Meat, I am going to sell half of my position today if we close below the 50-day moving average. We went way above it, came back below. So if we close under the 50, I won't sell the whole thing, but I'll take half the position off. Cisco is doing great, up 0.33% today. I like, even better than yesterday, I like it because now we're above the third ATR, negative third ATR channel. So this looks fine. This looks like a keeper. DXM, this is definitely looks like a keeper. If I didn't buy DXM a couple days ago, I would very much be possibly looking to buy it today with this beautiful V1, move back over the 50, moving back over the moving averages. Same, about the same entry as I had back here, but double test of this 50 makes me more confident, but up 1.22% today. 5, I think I'm just going to get rid of this. It's a bearish engulfing bar. It's a V1. It's a false breakout to the upside over here. It has held the 50 RSI, but just a lot of red flags. V1 to the downside, false breakout to the upside, lost the 5-day moving average, bullish engulfing bar. So I think I'm just going to take profits on this one. Gold, what I'm going to do, I've been thinking about this. I will take half off today if it closes under the 50 RSI. If it closes if it holds the 50 RSI, I'll keep it. But whenever I buy something and it goes up and hits the 50 and rejects it, at the very least, I'm going to take half off. So I will take half off of gold today. Play is doing great, up over 7% today, so no change there. SPY, of course, I'll buy that at the end of the day. Goldman Sachs is doing fine. It has moved more than 1.5 ATR for my entry. So if I get a close below the previous day's low, I will get out of half my position. And then Q's was the day trade. All right, let's take a look at some potentials for today. WDC, this is from John. I quite like WDC. Let me write this down and do some math on this for how many shares I might buy. And what I want to do there is I take my maximum allowed loss, I divide it by the value of the 2 ATR, which in this case is $2.75, and that will tell me how many shares to buy, so that if I'm wrong, I know exactly how much I'm going to lose most of the time, unless I have a huge big gap down or something like that. So that one is definitely a potential. Higher low V1, bullish engulfing bar. It looks like it might close over the 10-day, back over the negative third ATR channel. Very close to having a moving average, a MACD crossover, which is good. So that's a potential. BMY. Was a false breakout to the downside in a V1 earlier. It looks like it's untriggered, so that one doesn't look so great. INFN. Yeah, I don't really see anything there. L Brands, which is Lowe's, it's a pretty nice higher low V2. We went below the -1 ATR channel. We rallied back in. Now we've come under. We've triggered a V2. In addition to the V2, we tested halfway of this washout bar here, of this big bar up here, and we also went under 50, over 50. So this one is definitely valid as well. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly is in the value zone, which is okay. It hasn't got above the 50 RSI on the weekly, but MACD is positive. But still definitely a candidate for today. NUVA. False breakout to the downside in the V2. I don't see a lot of volume here. I don't like the volume portion of that. ACAD, false breakout to the downside, under 30, over 30, but again the volume, it's only 545,000 shares. That doesn't seem like enough to me. Let's look in intraday, and I guess it's okay, but let's look at the weekly. Yeah, I mean there's really not much there on the weekly. It's Yeah, I like those others better. IGMS, under 30, over 30. It looks a little extended. It looks a touch chasey, not too bad, but it is a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here we have a low, deep MACD bars. We rally to green, we come back, make a lower low, but you see how shallow these red bars are, even though we're lower compared to where we're over here when it was really deep. So this is a double bottom with the bullish divergence. That is pretty good. That is pretty good, and we went under 30, over 30, and false breakout to the downside. I don't like that it's well off of its highs, and that 200-day moving average definitely would probably give it some issues, although the risk to reward's still good. But again, the volume is not strong enough, so I'm going to let that one pass. XLRE, that's pretty dang strong. It's a higher low V2. And it's a fractal. Here's your high, two lower highs to the left, two lower highs to the right. A lot of volume today. Let's look at the weekly. Well, this is going to rev up one way or the other. We're moving sideways, so we're probably going to have a big move one way or the other. So this is a potential as well. How are we doing on time? EVGR, good, but a little chasey, so I'm going to take that one off. BAC is Bank of America. I already have Goldman Sachs, so I'm not going to have two correlated positions like that. Ionis Pharmaceuticals, not a lot of volume. I mean, it's a decent setup, but not a lot of volume. CERN, big V2, but too extended now. INSG, nice false breakout to the downside and a V1. Good volume. Monthly in the uptrend, weekly in the value zone. On the daily, we have a trigger. Not bad. STMP, no, I don't see anything there. KMI, no. SBS, no. Dollar, higher low V1. Let's see how high we got during the day. 45.82. You know, the dollar, if you look intraday on the dollar, it's, see, there's not a lot of trading going on. So, okay, I'm just going to let that one go then. Dang, this is tough. There's some really nice ones here. Anthem, close above the 200-day moving average. I don't know if that back tests well. Did reject the 50 already, so that's one bad sign. And then UNH. False breakout to the downside with the V1, but it's untriggered. So these ones over here look much better to me. WDC. There's enough volume. Higher low V1 back in the value zone. I like the fact that we're closing over that, possibly closing over that 10-day, because we haven't closed over the 10-day for so long. We tested it here, failed. Let's see, the 10 days at 35.16. Right now it's at 35.23. So that one's pretty good. Lows. Not a lot of volume here at all, so I'm going to take that as a little bit of a bad sign. Real estate. A lot of volume, higher low V1. I think we went under the 50 yesterday. Oh, we closed back over it. I don't know. You know what? I've had a difficult time trading XLRE. But we did trigger a fractal here. Let me look real quick here on the fractal chart on XLRE. Alligator is definitely sleeping. I don't know. That's tempting now. Let me do some numbers on this real quick. Okay. We get that 100 there. We got the confluences there. Okay, I'm going to let that one go. All right, so before I make my decision, let me go over here and see. Mount Doji, buddy, what's happening, my friend? Good to see you. Mount Doji was one of my first viewers way back in the day. I always appreciate that, Mount Doji. Hope you're doing well. Glenn wants to look at MSCI. Well, MACD went positive. We did trigger a fractal yesterday. It is holding the 50 RSI. It's okay. I don't like that it's down today on an up day. But we had the big bar up yesterday. We did come back down and hold that. That's a good sign. We did bounce off the 5-day. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, if I got into this, I would probably want to get out though if it closed, below these moving averages at the very least. But it's okay. It's definitely okay. Bob says ZY XI. Yeah, that's pretty good, Bob, because it did reject the 200-day moving average, and it also, I believe, rejected the 30 RSI. Yeah, it got to 2901. Yes, that's a nice confluence of signals right there. Under the 200, over the 200, under the negative third, over the negative third. MACD is positive. It's a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here's our lows. We had red bars. We rallied a little bit green. We've come back down lower, and we're actually have no red to be found. So that's a missing right shoulder. We have support of the 50 on the weekly. Yeah, I like that. I like that quite a bit. Rejection of the 30 and rejection of the 200. All right. Let me do some shopkeeping over here. Beyond Meat, okay, it looks like it's going to close under the 50 moving average, so I am going to go ahead and sell half of my Beyond Meat right now. 5 minutes, all right, I better hustle. Okay. Cisco is fine. No problems there. Dexcom rejected the 50 yesterday, so I took half off. No problems there. 5, I'm just going to sell 5. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Just lock in profits. So I am selling 5. It just, there's too many red flags, and it's profitable. Don't want to give it all back. I mean, that's something I would consider shorting. So if I'm considering shorting something, why would I keep it? You know what I mean? Okay, 5 is gone. Gold. I'm not quite sure yet on gold, because currently it's under the 50. If it closes under the 50, I'm going to sell half. If it were to close under this red line here, I'd sell the whole thing. Play is totally fine. That's nice. SPY, buying that again. Goldman Sachs. Let me check something real quick on Goldman Sachs. 210.97. All right, I think I'll keep that. Yeah. This is a good example though on days like today where, like on play, you know, hit the profit targets much higher. Beyond Meat, 5 profit targets, right? I mean, I'm glad that I hit some way, way, way up here. And I did sell half because we closed under. All right, now let me turn my attention to possible new entries here. Western Digital. I like it. I like it better than XLRE. So I'm going to buy Western Digital here. All right, so I did buy WDC. Okay. So Beyond Meat, I already sold half. Cisco, fine, steady as she goes. Dexcom, I sold half yesterday. 5, I already just sold because of this big nasty bearish bar. And gold, 49.28. I'm going to have to watch this one. I may have to get out of all of gold if it closes below 181. So let me get that geared up to sell the whole amount if I'm wrong. I very well may have to get out of the entire with a close below my end of day stop, which is 181. It's 1 minute. I'll do my best. Yeah. So I'm either going to sell half or I'm going to sell the whole amount. Let me see, how many shares do I have? Okay. So 1 minute to go, 30 seconds to go, actually. Okay. That doesn't look like it's going to close over the 50, so I'm going to sell half. Ooh. And sell. Uh-oh, what's happening? Okay. All right, so that's it. So just a quick recap. Beyond Meat, 5 profit targets. Man, am I happy with that. And the reason I sold half today is because it rejected the 50-day moving average. So I did sell half. I still have half after the profit targets. Cisco, no change there, no profit targets, but up. Dexcom, no profit targets, but up. 5, I sold that. That is gone for me. Gold, I sold half. It held my end of day stop, but it lost the 50. Play is fine. 3 profit targets. SPY, I bought at the end of the day. I'll find out what that was in a second. Goldman Sachs, 3 profit targets. No change there. And WDC. So listen, if you have any entries or exits for me today, any new ones, please put them in the chat. Let me know what you entered or what you exited, and I'll get the board all set up. Before I do that, just real quick, just need to do my daily plug and just remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one teaching and coaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've been trading for 24 years. I have studied one-on-one extensively with some great traders and teachers and authors out there over those years, like Stephen Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. I have learned a lot in the last 24 years. And what I teach is a combination of everything I've learned myself and everything I've learned from my coaches and mentors. It's a great class. It's pretty intense. It's 15 hours. Each session's 3 hours in the evening time via Skype. But the best way to learn something, in my opinion, is one-on-one. If you really want to learn something, you get a coach and a teacher that knows what he's doing or what she's doing, and work with them over many, many, many hours, like 15 hours. Repetition and patience. That's what one of my students said. He goes, your course is repetition and patience. And so that's the best way to learn, in my opinion. So if you're interested in taking the course with me, it is $1,000. I think it's worth every penny. I think it's worth much, much more than that, honestly. But I try to keep it affordable the best I can for as long as I can. But it is $1,000. So, but you're going to get your money's worth. So if you're interested in taking the class with me, send me an email. My email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter at Gossett Trading on Twitter. And if you do reach out to me, I'll reply and say, hey, how's it going? Thanks for saying hi. Let's set up a Skype call. I like to do a Skype call. I like to learn more about you and your trading, your goals, your challenges, and then it's a good time for you to ask me questions, specific questions about the course. It's not a sales call. I will not ask you if you want to take the course or not. When we're done with the call, I'll just say, hey, it was really great talking to you. Nice to put a name with the face, and think about it. And if you're interested, you can email me and we'll do it that way. So don't think it's a sales call. I promise you it's not. I hate when people do that to me, so I'm not going to do that to anybody. And then lastly, if you could hit the thumbs up button today, if you enjoyed the podcast today, if you like the content, I would really appreciate that. So that's it. Just hit the thumbs up button and contact me if you'd like to take the course. Okay, so let me take a look over here. Wow, good day today, I'll tell you what. So SPY, I got filled at 348.33. In WDC, I got filled at 35.22. Okay. So let me put 5 over here because I'm out of 5. Western Digital, I got filled at 35.22. Hey, I'm in the money. 1 penny. That's a start, right? How you doing, Katie girl? Katie's a little more spry today. I'm very thankful for that. She won't eat anything, but a friend of mine brought over some dried chicken liver things, and man, she liked those. I'll tell you what, when your child, and I'm sure your parents know, I don't have kids, but Katie's like my kid. My child Katie, when she eats, man, I just can't be happier. I just gush with happiness because she hasn't been eating. Okay, that's taken care of. Beyond Meat, I got out of half. Okay. Now, Kamal, DDD. Okay, Kamal's out of DDD. Good. I like the setup. Didn't work. Don't have an ego about it. If it doesn't work, just get out of it and move on, right? And Kamal definitely knows how to do that. Five, looks like Kamal got out of 5 with me as well, but profitable trade nonetheless, right? Steve's exited Google. Okay, so Steve exited Google because I assume it closed below the 70 RSI. Yes, 68.22, so it was above the 70, closed below 70. That is a signal for Steve to go ahead and get out. But nice trade, Steve. Profitable trade for sure, right? Exited Google 1629 for 3.26%. Pretty dang nice in 4 days. 5 days, sorry. Great. Gary says out of 5. All right. Profitable nonetheless, right? BAC. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I remember BAC looking pretty good. But again, it was I already had Goldman Sachs, so that's why I didn't take it. But otherwise, it looks good. Be aware if we get up to that 200-day, how it's going to react around there. Oh, okay. Brian, sold Dexcom and AMD and Roku. Okay. Dexcom is Brian. I'll tell you what, Brian, he gets out quick when he's wrong. But when he's right, he has the courage to stay in this. So very nice, Brian. Okay, so I got Brian out there. You sold AMD. Okay. That was profitable. I'll tell you what, Brian has some good trades. I wouldn't be surprised if one day we found out that like Brian was like Paul Tudor Jones, and Paul Tudor Jones just happened to be in my little podcast under an assumed name, under the assumed name of Brian, because Brian has some freaking winners. Holy smokes. I mean, if Brian said, oh yeah, I really am Paul Tudor Jones, I wouldn't be surprised. That's a compliment, Brian, by the way, right? Okay, nice profitable trade there. Let me check. What did the market do at the end? I'm so busy here at the end of the day on this podcast, I rarely can really see. Oh, so the Dow up 160, NASDAQ down 39. All right. And Roku. Quad, hey Greg, exited Goldman Sachs. My chart had it reject the first ATR. Okay. Nice trade there, Quaddy. Got you out there. Still in Intel. Let me check, see. Yep, still got you in Intel. And added WDC. Oh, that's what I bought. Okay, I thought that sounded familiar. And John, yeah, thanks, John, for pointing that out. I mean, of course, we don't know. I mean, it may go down. We don't know. But thank you for pointing out. I do like the technicals of this chart a lot. And it did close above the 10-day, which is a good sign on top of everything else. So it's nice sometimes that we can share different charts. Of course, we never know if they're going to go up just because somebody shares a chart or says something, shares a chart or says something. No guarantee. Very likely could go down, right? Let's all keep that in mind. EVRG. EVRG. Yeah, good volume there. Okay. I think we got all those taken care of, Quad. Glenn, IDXX thoughts. Didn't I look at this already? Was that Mount Doji that asked me about that? It looks almost exactly. Let me see. Where did Mount Doji go? Hello. Oh, no, it was Glenn. I mean, I like yesterday. I like the false breakout in the V1. I liked yesterday. Today I like less because it closed below its open and kind of rejected things to the top here as well. MACD is negative, but I like the sideways motion in the value zone. So yesterday would have been my preferred. Today, I mean, if I was going through this, it wouldn't pop in my head as something that would interest me, to be honest with you. But it's consolidating, it's moving sideways. We know sideways movement is going to lead to either a big break up or a big breakdown eventually. Unfortunately, we just don't know which way. But you know, in my opinion, you're much better buying in the consolidation than you are trying to chase big bars up, which you can see. But it doesn't really move the needle for me, Glenn. Kamal says, DDD, I took the 5% intraday loss. Okay, so Kamal hit his emergency stop. I already got rid of that. Karen is out of Roku. Nice trade, Karen. That was a beauty, eh? That was really good. Very nice, Karen. NTXX is soaring after hours today. Some major news came in. NTSX. Well, NTXX. NTNX. NTNX. Up 8%. NTNX. Oh, you have NTNX. Up 8%. Beautiful. Wonderful. Fantastic, Karen. It's up 9% now. Whoa. It's at 2370. It's right about here, right where your name was. Higher. Look at that, everybody. Karen's up here now on this trade. Woohoo! Beautiful, beautiful. Brian says, thank you for the compliment. I just hope that I trade good enough to be on the level of you and Steve. Brian, I mean, your trades have been unbelievable, buddy. Unbelievable. Quad says, thanks, Greg. I have not forgotten about scheduling our call to go over new exit strategies. Just been extremely busy. Yeah, I've been, it's been kind of tough with Katie, and I've been teaching a lot as well. So as soon as I get just a little bit of time, you get with me, I'll get with you, and we'll go over that, okay? Wow, I'm so happy for you, Karen. Is Karen the only one in that? Yes. All right, what's going on after hours? Cisco's up a little bit. Dexcom's even. Gold is down 7 cents. Goldman Sachs is even. SPY's up 21 cents. WDC's even. All right. Brian says, Karen, earnings are on September 1st. Okay, good. Thank you for that. Always important to watch that. Karen says, I sold half yesterday. Happy to keep the rest. 100%, right? 100%. Let's be happy with what we have. And who, you didn't know news was going to come out, right? All right. Well, listen, I have to teach tonight and a little bit earlier than normal. So I've got to get a move on, get my walk taken care of, take care of the Katie girl. So I'm going to leave you off with a couple things. Please try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or hello. If we could just do one nice thing for each other every day. If everybody in the world could do that, it would just make the world a better place. Could you imagine just one thing, right? Times 9 billion or however how many people we have. And then secondly, if you could also please go out and try to do a good deed or a nice thing for an animal as well as a human, that would be doubly as good. And I think it will improve your trading results by twice if you can do that as well. I don't know. I just came up with it. But it sounded good, right? Okay, well, big day today. Great day today. Man, especially on Beyond Meat and Play. That was excellent. So, all right, that's it. Hope to see you tomorrow during the final hour of the trading day. Be good, be safe. Johan says, thanks. Enjoyed the session as always. Thanks, Johan. Looking forward to our next lesson, buddy. And Marcus, if you're out there, I'm looking forward to our call tonight. So thank you all for coming. Katie says hi. She's feeling a little better, eating a little bit, which makes me just feel so much better. I'll tell you, it's been walking on pins and needles around here lately. So anyway, I appreciate you guys coming, guys and girls coming and spending time here with me. And really nice to have Karen have that big move ups on that NTNX. So, all right, that's it. Take care, everyone. Appreciate you being here. And hopefully see you tomorrow during the last hour of the market. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.